Chapter 161. At this time, Hazel suddenly spoke up, "Everyone, please calm down. Mr. Depp is also doing this in consideration of the metaphysics circle. In the past, all of us were scattered all over the place. Now, if we choose to organize ourselves and form an alliance led by a single leader, it will definitely be more convenient for us to deal with any enemies in future. Moreover, if the challenger chooses a category that you aren't good at, wouldn't it be best for the rest of us? Our leader should be someone who is qualified and proficient in all aspects and disciplines in metaphysics." After he spoke, some of the people sternly objected to the idea, while some of the guests actually felt that this was indeed a good opportunity. After all, the winner would be given the opportunity to demand something from the loser. Moreover, if they got the first place, they would also be regarded as the leader of the metaphysics world. Metaphysics was not solely an academic term. If someone was seriously skilled in metaphysics, then there would also be several wealthy and influential people who would cling on to them. Therefore, not many people could refuse or turn down the temptation of power and money. Some of the guests were very excited at this time. Of course, Gary stood up as he continued speaking, "I will not force anyone to participate in this competition. Anyone who is too afraid to take on the challenge can choose to withdraw immediately. However, this person will be directly excluded from our circle and he will not be given the opportunity to join any of our metaphysics alliances in future." Everyone hesitated for a moment. Even though the risks were high, the benefits were equally rewarding. The guests started contemplating at this time. After all, who would not be tempted to take on the leadership role of the metaphysics circle? Alex did not say anything as he continued sitting in his chair. He felt that Gary was too ambitious. Alex did not have any interest in the Metaphysics Alliance, but he planned to stay behind just to watch the show. Very soon, a middle-aged man with a beard stood up. After that, the man took out a piece of jade before he placed it on his palm. The jade shone brightly as the wind blew against it. At this time, the man suddenly spoke up, "I am Carter Swing from Jamui. I would like to challenge Mr. Depp." The Swing family had always been focused on metaphysics and their main focus was on divine forecast. In fact, their skills and abilities had been passed down from generation to generation. Carter was the 48th descendant of the Swing family and he was also very famous and well known in Jamui for his abilities. Therefore, he was very proud and confident. That was why he chose Gary as his opponent even in the first challenge. Alright then. Everyone started applauding at this time. Carter raised his head arrogantly as he said, "This piece of jade in my hand has been passed from generation to generation and it is definitely the best of the best relics for divine forecast and metaphysics. Therefore, I believe that the Swing family should be ranked first in the metaphysics circle." At this time, Gary also walked towards the other party as he nodded at Carter before he smiled and said, "Yes. The jade that you are holding in your hand is indeed one of a kind, but I am afraid that it will not belong to you soon." After that, Gary reached into his pocket before he took out his wallet. He looked around for a short while before he took out a small 1-inch long rune paper from his wallet. The rune paper had a bright luster and it seemed as though it had been marked with a cinnabar. The Arhat Golden Talisman. The crowd exclaimed excitedly as soon as they saw the golden talisman. Faria took this opportunity to explain to Alex, the Arhat Golden Talisman was made by 20 eminent monks who chanted for 41 days before making the consecrated and refined talisman. It is a very powerful talisman to use against evil. Alex smiled before he said, "So, it's not a good thing." Everyone glanced at Alex in disgust as soon as they heard his words. At this time, Gary snorted before he said, "I might be the best at divine forecast, but I trust in the abilities of this talisman." Everyone knew that the Arhat Golden Talisman was a very rare treasure. It was made after gathering 20 accomplished monks at a favorable time, place, and condition. Therefore, the rate of enlightenment that a person would have after using this talisman was more than 90%. Moreover, the golden talisman in Gary's hand was emitting a golden light. It was probably worth at least $2 million. Stop talking nonsense already. Let's open a hexagram now. Carter snorted before he started making a few gestures as he started chanting a few formulas in his mouth. After a short while, he said, "After an hour, there will be heavy winds and thunder coming from the west." Gary smiled slightly as he raised his head and said, "Yes, there will definitely be some rumblings, but it is not due to the wind or thunder. To be precise, the shock is caused by an explosion on the mountain and it is caused by man. Someone will pay the price for his actions today." Carter frowned before he shook his head and said, "No. That is impossible. I do not see anyone in the hexagram."